Hey guys, welcome to another WoW Weekly with Myst video. We are chilling near the water, as you can see. So here's our view. And I will stand up and show you the Transmog. But it has been super hot lately. It's, some of those days got over 100. And yeah, so I thought the perfect transmog this week would be something that is basically, well, this is more or less how I've been dressing lately, which, at home, of course, which is why there's been no streams. Yeah, usually when I want to wear next to nothing is when you see me drop streams for like a week. And when is that? That's usually when it's super hot. Yeah. Because it can be tough to sit here like fully clothed and staying in the same seat and streaming for hours on end with the heat, right? Yeah. So yeah. So this is basically what I've been kind of wearing, IRL. Okay, so we got some shorts. This is, it's, I don't imagine it's a transmog that anyone's going to be like, oh, send me the link. Because, like, literally, there's not much on us. Yeah. So, there's the shorts, our bra. I just threw the cape on just to kind of match things, but originally she had no cape on. Yeah, but I thought it at least looked kind of decent and like a transmog with the cape. And then we have the red weapon, and I believe I have a beer mug, but we can't see it. Hold on. There we go. So, beer mug that will just be full of water. I find like having a beer in summer is good, I like beer in summer, but when it's like super hot, I just want to drink water. Like that is just all I want to drink, yeah. I think it's because, like, when it's super hot, I want to enjoy my drink. And if I'm not going to enjoy it because of the heat, then I just want water. I want to be sweating, drinking a fucking delicious beer, Anyway, that's the transmog. No shoes. And let's sit again and do the video. So this week's events Remix is still going on, of course, and we're down to almost exactly a month. For what's left. It ends on August 19th, so you still got quite a bit of time to catch up if you're looking to do that. PvP Brawl is my favorite one, so a lot of you guys should know right off that. But for those that, don't know enough about me, Classic Acheron is the PvP Brawl. I'm still surprised that it's my favorite one. For those that maybe followed along with my whole Nemesis, journey, I've been done for a while. Like I finished it off last year. But I still like to go in there. I won't go in unless it's Classic Acheron though. Like I only like to go in on the actual original way it used to be. I don't really like the new version, like what they turned Acheron in, so I really only like Classic Acheron. And I always was the only one. Back in WoD, I loved it too, and everyone hated it, and everyone hates it now, and like, yeah. I think people are a little more accepting now because it's not current content, but yeah, I've gone through the whole duration of people hating it and me liking it. Yeah. But yeah, there's that. I may skip it this time around though, because it is end expansion, and I've got some catching up to do on some other stuff. So yeah. And then the other event going on this week is Time Walking. It's going to be the WoD version. And yeah, so you could get a nice piece of gear if you do the quests on a max level. Okay, so the first piece of news is that we got a new 6-month subscription bundle. I did a video on this, so I will link it at the end, and you can just check out that quick little video. But more or less, it's a bundle. You get a mount for the retail version, and it's called the Charming Courier. And then for classic side, you will get Swoopy the Owl Pet. Both of these are also available on the shop, so you could just buy them separately if you don't want to commit to a 6-month bundle. But it is a good time to commit to a 6-month because the pre-patch is going to be soon here, and then the expansion will launch, and then there's like the beginning hype. I would say 6 months is kind of the average time a new or returning player sticks with a new expansion, especially nowadays. Like the expansions don't necessarily hook you the same way they used to. But yeah, so perfect bundle covers you for all that. One interesting thing I thought I'd add into this week's news is this new Netease event that is happening. Now, the reason I think this is interesting, and it doesn't apply to most of us, but I just wanted to mention it. But basically, you know, with China returning to WoW, of course, there's the one side that I'm like, well, at least they can play their WoW again. It would suck to have WoW just wiped from you, you know. But on another side, yeah, it brings back cheating because, like, yes, you had the good WoW players over on China's side, but you also had those really bad ones that were the reason for a lot of cheating. And even although there's still been cheating in the game, it's been a lot more calm since they weren't in the picture. Now that they're back, we're going to see a lot more cheating in the game. And yeah, so in a renewed effort to combat cheating, they have decided to run a special event through the month of July. And it's going to award BattleNet balance to players who report activity that's against the TOS. And I'm just going to say, I do not see that going well. You know, that is kind of like, you know, when like a ransom happens and a person's like, tell me any info and I'll give you like $500,000. That's when you get like a ton of calls from random nobodies giving you just about any useless piece of info, you know? And that's what this is. People are just going to be reporting every single person, no matter what they've been doing, just to get Blizzard balance. Like that's real money, you know? So yeah, they're looking to hand out, they say roughly $14,000 US total among all the reporters. So here's the balance that could be rewarded. So this is for the top 100 reporting players. And yeah, this is the balance that you would get. And then additionally, there's a special bounty of up to $14,000 US that has been pledged for any reports that lead to legal action against the production, distribution, or sale of hacks. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that, you know, get your wheels turning. Maybe you got comments on that. I think that is ridiculous. And yeah. Okay. I am looking forward to seeing the outcome of this. Yeah. Like, if there was ever a way to exploit a system, yeah, we just found it. And I do find it interesting that they would rather do it this way than actually do their fucking job. Like, we're the players. Like, Blizzard, get your shit together and, you know, do your fucking job. Okay, so now on to some War Within pre-patch stuff. So we got news last week that the pre-patch now has a date. So this shows 2 dates. So we have the pre-expansion update, which is July 23rd, and then there's the Radiant Echoes event on July 30th. To me, the real date is July 30th, but because people will be hyped on July 23rd, I will do a pre-patch stream on the 23rd, but me personally, I don't plan on doing a whole lot until July 30th. Yeah. So, of course, with this, you will have access to the warbands. You'll have that on the 23rd. Visions of Azeroth, which is a new quest line, that will be on the 23rd. That's the first part of the Visions of Azeroth quest line for War Within. Skyriding should be there on the 23rd, and that's basically it. And then, of course, on the 30th, the Call of the Radiant Echoes. Now, that's where the unique rewards are. So I think I'm not going to be too alone in the fact that, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I might just wait till the 30th because, like, it's been hot. So unless it's not super hot on the 23rd, yeah, like, nothing's going on, really, on the 23rd. You know, like, it's pretty much just gonna look like a beta stream. Like, yeah. But on, you know, on the 30th, we can collect the stuff that we get to keep. So, yeah. So on the topic of that, okay, so a quick little rundown here. We've got the warbands. So this is basically account-wide stuff, which will be unlocked. You'll have a shared renown, a warband bank, achievements, collection, and some more stuff there. The conversion process takes up to 20 minutes, but sometimes can take a little longer. There could be a login queue, and it is limited to characters within a single region. I think we could have all guessed that one, but yeah, obviously, you can't, you know, share things, you know, on your NA account with your EU account, right? So you will just pick 4 characters, as you can see at the side there. You'll pick your 4 characters to be part of your warband. And this is the part that I don't like. Like, when I was thinking, you know, long ago about account-wide things, I was thinking with everyone, you know, with all my characters, not limited to 4. It's funny how account-wide, like, technically, we've had account-wide for years, but it's always so restricted that you don't realize we've had account-wide stuff because we never have full account-wide. It is always so restricted. And yeah, don't get me wrong, warbands is better than nothing, but it's still very restricted. So once you're in a warband, you'll no longer need to swap between realms to see the characters on those realms. As far as transmogs goes, any character can collect an item appearance. Class-specific appearances are an exception and will still be collectible only by that specific class. I think once more people realize that that is not changing, yeah, I think that's really what, you know, people wanted with the account bound, among many other things. But I think class-specific appearances were a big part of it. Because, like, let's be real, Legion is just full of class specifics. There's so much stuff you don't loot in Legion if you're only like only ever running with one character. Yeah. And then if you're running with a bunch, you're not doing much of anything else, you know. Takes time to run all your characters through shit. Yeah. So yeah, existing rules on which characters can use given appearances are not changing. For example, a priest getting a plate helm drop will unlock the appearance for your plate-wearing characters, even though they cannot use the plate themselves. So that is kind of what we expected. Also worth mentioning, the new UI. I have covered this in a past video because, well, I cover weekly news, so we do tend to see some things twice, you know, because I go over them again when things launch, you know, so yeah. But I would just like to note that I do still really love this new appearance UI so that you can track by class. And then there's also this toy. So it reveals all maps of regions that have been fully explored by a member of your warband. And then also there's shared flight points. So your flight points will be account-wide. For standard flight points you have yet to learn, you will only have to collect them on one character, and then they'll be unlocked across your whole warband. And flight points that have already been collected on any character across your account will be unlocked for your warband. So yeah. Okay, so now for the Radiant Echoes event. So I did a video on this, but it was a pretty mediocre video, I would say. I did kind of rush it a bit, and I didn't really add any rewards. You know, I basically just said, here's a quick, tiny version. I'll talk about it in the WoW Weekly News. So, yeah. So here we are. I'm going to go over it in a little more detail. This event will run from July 30th to August 26th. The pre-patch always runs until launch. Your locations is Dalaran, the main hub, Dragonblight, Deathwallow Marsh, and Searing Gorge. Max level will receive a quest that directs them to visit Dalaran to start. And during the first week of the event, zones will cycle every 90 minutes. During the second week, every 60 minutes. And during the third and fourth weeks of the event, every 30 minutes. In stage 1, you will need to defeat the memories that appear in the zone. Stage 2, you defeat the echoes, which are 6 random events that are active within the zone that can be seen on the map. So you just open up your map to find out. Stage 3 is when you will defeat an event boss. Only Darkness is the Remembered Lich King Slain, which is out in Dragonblight. Broken Masquerade is the Remembered Onyxia Slain, which is in Deathwallow Marsh. And then Champion of the Waterlords is your Firelord Slain, which is out in Searing Gorge. Stage 4 will begin, and the boss will no longer be available to kill for the quest completion until the event begins in the zone again. So in Stage 4, the echoes have subsided. Players can choose to return to Dalaran or stay within the zone. A timer within the zone the memories are still active in will count down to the next zone event. Now, there are some vendors. So in Dalaran, there will be Remembrancer Amuel, who's in the Chamber of the Guardian. In Dragonblight, it'll be Echo of the Silver Hand at Wormrest Temple. Deathwallow Marsh will be the Forgotten Hero at Tabitha's Farm. And then Searing Gorge, it'll be Memory of a Duke over in the Iron Summit. Now, pretty much all that I said in the other video. The difference for today's video is I'm going to actually show you the rewards. I've only really kind of showed you by names in the video I posted last week. So here is the Remembered Golden Griffin. Here's the Remembered Wind Rider, and this is going to cost you 20,000 memories. Here's the Remembered Spawn, the Remembered Construct, and the Remembered Riverpaw. These are all 10,000 memories each. there's also the lifeless stone ring, which will be like the first thing you get. And it's 25 memories. And basically what you do is you infuse it with essences of Azeroth to restore its power. And yeah, it turns it into a heirloom ring. So that'll be a nice, unique heirloom that you would get. Little additional info on that one. The essences are from the 3 event bosses. So you do need the essence of Eastern Kingdom, essence of Kalimdor, and essence of Northrend to actually create the heirloom. And the heirloom ring is called the Band of Radiant Echoes. There's also some bags you can get your hands on. There's a 32 slot normal bag. It's called the Defender's Hefty Satchel. That's going to cost you 2,000 memories. There's the 30 slot reagent bag, and that's called the Recruit's Reagent Bag, and that's going to cost you 2,000 memories. There's a couple of rings and a couple of necklaces and some trinkets. Those are all going to cost you 2,000 each. As far as the currency goes, there are 3 weekly quests, and each of them are to kill the bosses. So Broken Masquerade is to kill Onyxia. Champions of the Waterlord is Ragnos, and then Only Darkness is Lich King, and it awards 1,500 memories each, so you can get a decent amount from there. So yeah, I thought I would just showcase that. As far as the rest of the items, which you would have seen in that video that I just kind of quickly did up last week, you might have noticed there's a lot of gear. It's basically catch-up gear. So the gear will be 480. It's got room for some upgrades, and it will all be 2,000 memories, but some do cost 3,500. The belts. I've noticed that the belts but I haven't seen higher than 5,000. So you're looking between 2,000 to 5,000 for the items. So it's going to be quite the farm if you're going after transmog and stuff. And on that topic, I did go and do the math for those that are interested. So if you want absolutely everything, which would of course include all the transmogs, all the pets, both mounts, and the heirloom, then you are looking at 269,025 residual memories. There are some items with different item IDs on it, and if you are looking for those are on weapons. Then your total will become 333,025 residual memories. So, yeah, that is quite a bit of memories. I get the feeling we probably get them fairly fast. You know, we know what we get through the quests, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be alternate ways, and it will probably work a lot like Remix did, where along the way they buff it, and don't worry too much about the high number. I am sure they'll buff it and make it so it's faster, and yeah. So keep in mind that they will probably buff it, and you know, it will get easier to get that. The weeklies may eventually give you double the amount they will on day 1. Okay, so we're just going to show you my screen for a minute because this is the changes to the classes. It's a lot, so it would be easier to scroll past. Okay, so here are all the classes, and I am just going to scroll through it. I will, of course, slow it down in the editing so that it is readable. But yeah, we'll just scroll through it for now. So keep an eye out for when I get to your class. Okay, so that is all the class changes so far for the War Within. Okay, so there is also a cute little video that posted this past week. It's by Hurricane, who was actually other than World of Warcraft themselves, my first YouTuber I ever watched, because my YouTube enjoyment has always been like trailers and stuff. I never actually watched like actual YouTubers, like people doing content. I always was just after like trailers and shit. So Hurricane was like right up my alley years back and still is. So he's got another new one. Keep in mind, he just does like fun trailers. This shit ain't real, you know. So just a fun little entertainment value 2-hour episode today. So I hope you enjoy. Here it is.
We have traded our weapons.
We have traded our belief in magic
For spare parts and gasoline.
We're approaching combustible engine test number 427. Oh, boy. Watch out! Hello.
The fate of Azeroth is now in the hands of the future generation of drivers.
Why do I have to always clean up after everyone? This is so stupid!
Huh?
Okay, so that's that. I hope you enjoyed that one. When I initially first saw that, my first thing that came to mind was Death Race. I love that movie, more so the first one. But yeah, that was exactly that. And I think it would be kick-ass to have Death Race in WoW. That would be so badass. Yeah. Yeah, that guy is so good at trailers. Yeah, his quality on trailers is just amazing. Okay, so classic. Phase 4 launched last week. It was on Thursday. So players have had a little bit of time to be in the fourth phase. And here is a couple of things that I thought we would just showcase. So there is the bags. So yeah, got a Nixia hide backpack, bottomless bag. So you can see the difference between the original and then what it is on SoD. For those that don't know what SoD is, Season of Discovery. Also, there's a new event that's been going on over there. It's called the Blackrock Eruption, and it occurs every 2 hours from midnight and lasts 60 minutes. Daily quests are available in Searing Gorge for the Thorium Brotherhood. And yeah, so you get this eruption buff, and it says, Blackrock is erupting. You are setting aside your petty squabbles to focus on defeating the forces of the Fire Lord. You currently gain no honor from PvP combat. But once you enter Blackrock Mountain, your buff will change to hot-blooded. And that's where you start receiving 300% increased honor from PvP kills. So it's basically, I guess it's kind of like a PvP and a PvE zone the way I'm seeing it here. But it is where you'll get some fire resistant gear. So you will be collecting a currency called Fireland's Ember, and it's needed for your fire resistance gear. And you can also use them to upgrade. So minimum level for this is 54, just for those that are interested. And I am going to just show you on screen here where they all are. So this is the more like a Lame Bringers quest. And you can see it's out in Searing Gorge. The rest don't have a pretty little map, but that's okay. Priority target, Duke C brand. Priority target, Duke Tectonus. Sleepless Nights. Work smarter, not harder. Oh Shiny. And Grinding Them Down. So there's a few dailies there. And then here's the Thorium Brotherhood rep. So you can see on friendly, there's, the Dark Iron Bracer plans, an enchant formula if you're after that, and then some gear. Honored, gets you some more. Revered. And then Exalted. If you're beginning at neutral, you do need a total of 39,000 rep points to reach Exalted with Thorium Brotherhood. So if you were to only use the daily quests, it would take you 29 days. Hydraxian Waterlord. So here's the revered items and the Exalted. And I will show you the Duke's domain a little better. So yeah, here it is. Expands the Duke's domain, increasing the fire resistance of those who reside within by 50, lasts 15 seconds. So a nice little trinket there. And once again, if you were to, if you begin at neutral, you'll need 39,000 rep points. The difference with this one, though, is that it would take you longer. So if you were only to use these daily quests to earn the rep, it would take you 37 days. And then on the topic of Hydraxian Waterlords, there is these water treads. So these boots are from Duke Hydraxis. He's out in Ashara, and you can get them at Honored, and it costs like 9 gold, 52 silver. Also, another thing I thought we would add into the classic section is just a reminder that world bosses will release this week. So Lord Kazak and Aziragos will show up on July 18th at 1 p.m. Pacific globally, and they will be brand new instanced versions of the encounters, and they can be, you can bring 40 players. They will be tuned as 20-player content, though. So one more thing I thought I would add to our Classic news is that there's some stuff going on with Classic. Some people are not happy, and I haven't looked too much into it, so I thought we would look together. So I found this petition. Oh, I guess there's a petition. So let's read through it. Okay, here we go. So we got... So WoW Classic players petition Blizzard to revert the server to its original state without any changes. So it would appear that a small segment of WoW Classic players have a bone to pick with Blizzard and the way the Era servers have been handled to this point. Apparently, Change.org petition has been making the rounds with nearly 2,500 signers at the time of this writing, raging at how the studio has messed with the MMORPG's presumed perfect formula. The petition, which according to Change.org's press release, was started by streamer and YouTuber Kargaz, pushes against some of the recent permanent changes made to WoW Classic. I've never heard of that streamer, but yeah. I imagine they're popular in the classic section. Specifically, the War Chief's blessing buff and the ability for druids to use polearms. I know about both of those, but I didn't realize that this was all because of just those two things. They are, big things, I guess, but classing them as an outrageous violation of trust, while also calling out modern UI updates that have, I knew about the guild one, that they changed the original guild to like the modern. Yeah. So it looks like the guild UI that we see on retail, basically. So, while also calling out modern UI updates that have applied a guild chat delay that is argued to be not authentic to original vanilla WoW. Vanilla WoW is undoubtedly one of the best games ever made. We the people demand Activision Blizzard honor the initial promise that was made to us and immediately revert vanilla WoW Classic Era back to its original design, with no changes other than Chrono Boon, and never attempt to change Classic Era servers. It's funny because back in 2019, when they, made Classic WoW, basically, I told people it was not going to be a vanilla WoW, and if it became a vanilla WoW, it was not going to stay a vanilla WoW. You can blame Season of Discovery for that one, because Blizzard clearly, as soon as I kind of knew a couple of pieces of this, the first thing that came to mind was, that makes sense, because when they released Season of Discovery, they actually got a shit ton of retail players interested, because it was not a lot of people don't really want to go to vanilla WoW if they, I feel like you only want to play vanilla WoW if you were there, because then it's kind of like a relive type situation. I get that there's some new people that play it, but majority are people that just want to relive it. And, let's be real. These are changes that are kind of in comparison to how they've done Season of Discovery, in a sense. To be fair, I knew Classic WoW was kind of doomed. Even if it's the vanilla era, I knew it was doomed the minute Season of Discovery came in, because I'm just going to say I was hyped for Season of Discovery, but because I thought it was still going to be kind of like a vanilla version with new things, I didn't think it was going to be like a retail in Classic WoW. So, yeah. Anyway, continuing. In addition to the breathless rage at these adjustments to Classic, the petition also features some regrettable bits of cringe or comedy, depending on one's points of view, particularly in the top supporter video posts that feature living embodiments of what others likely think MMORPG fans are like in real life. The arguments from the petition have had some knock-on effects on the WoW Classic community, with forum threads popping up that suggest a subtle change server for Classic, or others that bring up the petition's argument. Still others push back against people who are living in the past, or arguing that the furor is nowhere near as loud as some might suggest. In some cases, another YouTuber named Stay Safe has also been rallying his fans to the petition in his own video to push against the shocking changes. Yeah, I don't know who Cardgauze is, but I do know who Stay Safe is. I watched a little bit of him when we were prepping for like the 2019 Classic WoW to launch. Yeah, there was a lot of hype around that time, and I watched pretty much solely classic WoW streamers at that time. So yeah, so I do know who Stay Safe is. So here's some comments in case anyone is interested. I do agree that, you made Classic WoW to be a vanilla WoW. Like, like, let's be real. The whole reason is because they were pissed at private servers, right? Yeah, pissed that they were doing it. You got to stick with what you promise the people, because the reality is they've already lost some people, because some people are already back on private servers. Me, I always wanted it to be legit. Like, I have nothing against private servers, but I always chose to not play on them. And then when Blizzard brought in Classic WoW, that was kind of like me going to a private server, even although it's not private, it's run by Blizzard. But that was kind of my version of a private server, vanilla, right? Because I never wanted to like risk my accounts or anything, right? I love WoW, and I do nothing to risk my accounts in WoW. So yeah. This guy's right here, because many who play old expansions have no interest in sitting in one. I haven't read what he's replying to, but I read that line. And yeah. And this is so on point. You know, people say a lot are in their 30s, and yeah, if you were a legit kid playing the game, yeah. But a lot of us that played from vanilla, and keep in mind, like, a lot of the people that are like in their 30s, they didn't necessarily play from vanilla, because when you're a kid, you're not in the know of all the video games, right? But the reality is, like, yeah, we are in our 40s and 50s, you know? Like, yes, very much so. It's like, can I like that? No, you gotta log in. I would have, though. If I didn't have to log in, I would have liked that comment. However, that means nothing. Like, I'm just confirming that most of us are, older, no one's super young, because the game has been out for 20 years. So, like, you can't be young and played back in 2004. Like, yeah. Like, you're at least in your mid-20s. Yeah. And I doubt, I would call bullshit on anyone that says they played when they were like 5 or something. Yeah. Like, being on your parents' lap while they're playing isn't playing the game. Like, I don't consider you to actually have been playing the game till the account is actually yours. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, just thought I would show off that. So yeah, there is a little bit of hate going on with the vanilla era. Okay, so that covers all the news. That covers our retail news, our classic news. As for me, what I've been up to this past week, and some goals, accomplishments, and all that. Well, let's start with some WoW stuff. So, WoW accomplishments. I've been meaning to put it in a WoW Weekly, but like a couple of weeks ago, I did finally finish the mount that's actually right where I'm standing. So if I just do this, this mount, I don't know if it still shows on his vendor after I purchased it. Oh yeah, it does. So Reigns of the Crimson Water Strider, I finally finished this farm. It'll be a video probably sometime this week. There it is. So that was a long time coming mount. I should have had that done back in WoD. But I finally knocked it out of the way. So yeah, I'm a little late on, like, adding that to our accomplishments. But yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I polished that off. So the next time you see a mount farming stream, we won't be fishing anymore. We'll have some other tedious tasks going on. Also, I did some more remix stuff. So I hopped in there. I didn't do a whole lot. I only hopped in one day last week for remix. So I polished off Elusive. I wish there was a scroll for recent activities for when I do more than 4 things, which is so frequently. But you know, we'll just go off the top 4, I guess. So you could see that I did 3 rare enemies in Valley, 3 in Dread, and then some other Dread stuff, and completed the Kunlai storyline. So all the storylines are done now. And yeah, so if we go in, so all the quests done. Reputation, I gotta get back to. I haven't worked on Reputation in like a month. So just these 2. They're pretty close though. And then Exploration will have a lot because I'm doing all these tour ones. This one's getting left as last. Like me knocking out the couple of elusive foe, that was pure accidental. Like I have not been focusing this. I want to leave it till last. So yeah. Scenarios. I just need to do these 2, so I'm gonna do those probably this week. And then dungeons, all done. Raids. I did go into some heroic raids this past week. So I did Heroic Heart of Fear and Heroic Siege. So yeah, July 9th was the day I logged into Remix, and it was the only day I logged in this past week. We'll do another one. We'll do another one, this week. Yeah, I've had a lot on the go, and then it's been hot, and yeah. I've been very, very tired lately. So yeah. But yeah, overall, we're doing pretty good. Like this is half done. Oh, there's a third one. Oh, because I did the heroic Mogashan when we did the normal raids. Yeah, because I do have all the normal raids done. And yeah, so that's why. So my plan, I think this week, is to finish off the heroic raids, get the last 2 out of the way, and then finish the scenarios. Yeah, that's we'll make it a nice and, I don't want to put too much into the mix this week because it's going to be super hot, so I'm not going to want to dedicate as much time as normal. And then I gotta get back to some retail stuff. I did do a day of retail last week as well, but we didn't really accomplish anything. I just was working on stuff. But yeah, so that's my accomplishments. In the real world, I finally booked myself a dental appointment. So that took so long for me to do. I had so much anxiety, and I almost canceled that appointment. I had booked it. It was scheduled for after work, right? So I went after work, and I had a little time to spare, and I imagine you're probably not supposed to eat before a dentist, but I did. I had 30 minutes to spare. And so I went to the McDonald's that was around the corner and fucking had to bite teeth there. And then I was starting to get real uptight, because I haven't been to a dentist in 20 years. And, the reason is because they fucked up my root canal the last time I went. So I was, I've had huge anxiety for a very, very long time. And so I almost canceled that appointment. Yeah, it was getting down to 10 minutes, and I'm I'm gonna fucking cancel. I had the phone in my hand. I had the number dialed. All I had to do was hit call. But I calmed down, and we went in. I'll probably have another appointment next week. That is probably exactly why they're calling, because I have a lot of work to get done. And it would be nice to have most of it done before the expansion launches. That's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, because I'm me at the end of the day. I will put dental work off for an entire month because of that expansion. Like, it don't matter. I love my WoW, and a lot of things come second to my WoW. And I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that. Oh yeah, almost forgot. But one other thing that happened in my life this past week is the fridge broke. So yeah, I had to replace that. So yeah, here's a picture. So, old fridge, new fridge. I am gonna say I still like the old fridge better. I'm not good with change, but I feel like there was more room with the old fridge. But yeah. Or at least it was set up better. I think what it is that before I had on the left side, that side you see open, that's the fridge. The other side's the freezer. But the freezer's basically almost the same size as the full fridge top to bottom. Whereas the new one has just this drawer that you pull out, and it's one box, right? Yeah, I think I prefer the old setup a little better, where there was multiple shelves for the freezer. There was, a side section of it, kind of like the fridge side section. Yeah. But whatever. Needed a new one, and this one works good, and it's been nice to have my popsicles get frozen real fast. Usually it would take hours in the old freezer. What broke was the freezer part. So yeah, the fridge was still working, but the freezer had completely broke. And that's been basically my week. It has been super hot. Yeah, it's hot right now, so we're gonna end this video so soon. I couldn't think of the words. The words weren't coming to me, but yeah, we're gonna end this video soon. I do plan on getting a portable air conditioner, but yeah, it really just depends on prices. If I could get a decent one for a decent price. And I'm probably going to have to suffer this week. Might have to suffer the next couple of weeks. This is why it always never happens, right? Because then I get to the point where, I have to wait a couple of weeks, and then, and then it turns out the super hot weather is gone. And then I'm like, oh, do I want to waste my money? And yeah. But I think I am gonna for sure do it. For those that are curious, I live in an air-conditioned house. Just it's an old house. Things are a lot different when you're talking about a stream room, a room that has equipment on all the time, and you're sitting in one spot. And yeah, I'm also by the window, so there's that. So yeah, it's yeah. It's one thing to keep in mind is when a streamer's talking about heat, it's a whole different kind of heat. Yeah, they're not talking about your average hot day. They're talking about your average hot day in a room full of hot equipment. and then I'm also upstairs, so air conditioner doesn't flow as nicely up the stairs. And it's an old house, so the connections are a little rough nowadays. But yeah, that's my plan. So, so we'll see how it goes. My plan is to stream on the 23rd, but if it's super, super fucking hot, and especially with that event not happening till the 30th, the main event with all those items, I may just hold it off till I get the portable air conditioner, but we'll see. I'll definitely let you guys know in next week's video, since it would be posting on the 22nd, and we'll see from there. So just wanted to add this part in, just a quick little outro part that I didn't notice until I went to edit the video. My apologies, guys, for not unmuting. I have WoW muted a lot because I watch movies and, you know, listen to music and whatever. A lot of the time I'm not running the actual WoW sounds unless I'm doing videos, right? And I totally forgot to unmute, and I've just been I get in my own world when I start doing the WoW weeklies, especially since I work the next day, and so, you know, WoW weeklies take a while, and yeah, I try to make sure I'm actually able to complete it before, you know, I have to go to bed, more or less. And yeah, it just didn't even dawn on me that we were in silence here. For the most part, it probably doesn't matter too much since I'm rambling. But yeah, my apologies if you like the background sound. We do usually have it. I just forgot to unmute this week. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a great week in WoW, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.